So I thought this is the best way to do it, really. This is one I've already done, because I've done one when I do it on the hob, and it's of limited use, I think. So this is one I've done already. Here's one I prepared earlier, as they say. So if we look at this K that I've done here, big chunky K, you can see how chunky it is there. There's a bit of a lean on it. It's leaning backwards slightly. Nice blunted end there, nice sharp end there. See that? See what I could have done? If I can find my pencil. Where is my pencil? There it is. What I could have done is I could have cut it off there. Do you see that? Which would have blunted that off. I could do that as well. Or I could do a thinner version. There's lots of different things I could have done with it, but I did that with it because that's what I wanted to do with it. If we move on to number 2, you'll see this bit of interesting kerning I've done here. This sort of spike kerning. So rather than be like a solid end, it goes into a point, tapers into a point. Also, this has got a backwards lean on it as well. This one, as its bottom leg sort of going out horizontally before it goes down vertically, and its top bar there, same thing, goes out horizontally and then goes up vertically. I love K, it's such a versatile letter. If we look at this one, put a kink in that back bar there, kink in that back bar, and I extend the leg down. Now again, you extend the leg down, you could go that way with it if you wanted to. You see that? I could cut it off there. Instead, I took it down there and I did it up there. Bit of kerning on the end there, bit of kerning on the end there. Now I've done a very sharp angle there, but equally, I could have taken it up there and taken it the other way. You see what I mean? You can play with this stuff. Play with the idea of angles like that. As steep or as shallow as you like. That's a really steep curve there, for instance. That's a more shallow curve. What am I talking about? That's a more shallow angle. That's more shallow still. Till finally you get something which is completely blunt, like that. And then it starts to angle the other way. See what I'm talking about there? That's 3 examples. I'm only doing this, by the way, because if you're anything like me, your ADHD will have you looking all over the place. This is the next 3. So, this thing I said about top heavy, bottom heavy. That's a lovely bottom heavy K for you there. Sort of like a throwy K, basically. That's what that is. Big bubbly K, chuck that up, and that'd take you 3 seconds to chuck on a wall. Not that you'd want to do it on a wall, of course, because that's illegal. But a nice big bubbly K there. Now this one, look at the dynamic of this one. So bottom heavy, and rather than the ones we've seen up here, that one leans forward, giving it a forward movement. I could have equally given it a backward movement, but I chose not to. This one, same, backwards movement. Look at the way the stick bends. All the dynamics are pointing that way. They're all leaning forwards. All the energy is going that way. This leg is the same. It's going up there. There's a big forward movement on it. Bit of kerning, again. Kerning's just detail, though. You know, what you want to get right is the energy, first of all. You want to get the energy and the weight of the letter. That's what you're looking for. So the energy, is it moving upwards? Is it moving downwards? Is it going forwards? Is it going backwards? Where's the weight of it? Where's the weight of that sit there? That's a lovely big sort of weighted top there, but the weight of that K sits down the bottom. See that? This one, it's not so much like that. It's not bottom heavy, it's not top heavy. It's a very sort of solid shape. It's like, it's all, you know, it's sort of carved out of a square, really. So it's It's a very equally weight distributed letter, this one. I love these types of letters. Very, very tight little angles on it. I love the little tight angles. And it bows out. Can you see that? It bows out. If you was to draw that line in, it'd go in like that. And you can see how much it's bowing out. Like it's had a great big Christmas dinner, you know, it's sitting right in its guts. And it's bowing out. It's a nice fat little K, that one. I really like that one. Next three. Okay, so I'll have to take that one down. We'll get there in a second. So this one, forward movement, yeah. Nice sharp pointies. Nice dynamic forward moving. Nice. That's as close to an ordinary K as I get on here. Pretty much, I reckon. A little bit of kerning on the detail in there. But it's got a nice forward moving energy. Nice sort of straight letter K, that one. With a nice sharp point. This one. So you see that one? How that goes sharp up there? This one does the opposite. And on this bar there. And that one goes down like that. That one goes up like that. So the dynamics are the opposite. And that's the opposite effect. I've also thickened that bar out there, thickened the leg there, and I've given that a bit of a horizontal kick just there as well. You see that? Gave it a bit of different detailing there. Little sort of extension jump off there, if I wanted it. This one's a bit lairier, as we say in the UK. So the back bar's got a big kink in it. Flares out towards the top. I put a nice horizontal arrow bouncing off the top there, just as a bit of detail to show how it might fit in a piece. Again, a kick out there for the top bar, kick out there for the bottom bar. Nice dynamic K, that. As you can see, the energy moves forward on that one as well, which is why it's balanced with an arrow firing backwards. You could equally fire it forwards, do whatever you like with it. You get the sense of it, you know, you've got to practice this stuff. Practice it over and over and over again. I kid you not. You wouldn't believe how bad I was when I started this. Maybe you would. You haven't seen my first black book, actually, and I probably won't ever show it, because I do have it, but it's bad. It's bad. It's really bad. Too embarrassing to show. That's how embarrassing it is. So you get the feel for this energy. You know, that's a very, again, top heavy. Most of the weight is up top there. And there's some nice dynamics that sort of, you know, with this kink particularly, you know, so it fires backwards, then it throws itself forwards like that. And then you've got this long leg that comes down here. Okay, last three, here we go. This one, I have this style that I run. Some people complain about the fact I do this style, but I like it nonetheless. This sort of rocky, broken up style, I really like it. I've painted pieces like this. I painted Hush Memorial's piece like this, that me, Blover and Nasha painted. I painted Hush, painted his name in this sort of rocky style, because I love this style. Because when you put little edges on it and shading on it and everything, it really pops. It's very, very nice. And yeah, I really like this style. So I did that, just fancied it. As you can see, again, a backwards lean on it. This stick is flaring out heavy. So, you know, if you disregard the detail for a second, you can see how this flares out. So the weight is up the top there. This leg flares out that way. Little stick up there. You know, so the structure is all the same. Structure's all the same. The rest is detail, really. And it's sort of nicely leaning back. This one, big top heavy throwy. Tiny detail down there, big flared out top on it. Sort of, it's sort of, you could say it's forward moving, but it's more sort of just sort of, it's an upward moving letter more than anything, that one. And then finally, this is a sort of, I always like to do a sort of slightly calligraphy meets graffiti-esque type letter. those of you know Shu, who's a famous European writer, one of the first Euro writers. Him and Bando and Delta, they were the first ones to be really famous. He does something called Calligraffiti, and he's very good at this sort of the fusion of graffiti letters and calligraphy. He's great at that stuff. Shu, look him up, or look up Calligraffiti. So there you go. That's a study of a letter K. Now, as you can see, 3, 6, 9, 12. To do a study, do it for yourself. 12 examples of the same letter. Try to vary them up as much as possible. Think of the variables. You've got leaning back, leaning forward, top heavy, bottom heavy. You got what else you got? You got very pointy, very blunt. You've got big and thick like this, or you got much thinner like this. Different types of kerning: pointed, blunt-ended, smaller, larger. Change it up with a bit of detail if you like, that kind of stuff, but keep the structure intact. Keep the structure's integrity. That's the word, isn't it? That's what I'm looking for. Don't be afraid of putting a bit of dynamic detail on to help you out a bit if you feel like it. And just practice it, really. Practice it. Keep practicing it. Like I say, I'm one of them guys who I'm better at characters than letters. But if you're going to be a grapher, you've got to be able to do letters of some kind, because that's the foundation of what we do. I did notice, Gio, if you're watching this, I noticed that recently you said in one of your Instagram posts that you were crap at letters, and you know, the thing is, it's not really true. I know you feel that way because I feel the same, but the thing is, we can all do letters. Look at Gio's letters. You know, they're great letters, but he's a character king, so his characters blow his letters away completely. And then you get letter artists who are brilliant at letters, like Dave Bonsai, or who's a letter like Holek, or oh god, there's so many, to be honest. Haydock 94, or you know, amazing letter artists, too many to mention. Who I've never seen most of them do characters, because they probably don't, because they specialise in letters. But letters are the foundation of what we do in graffiti, because your name is your foundation, so you've got to be able to rock the letter. Who was it said that? She won, wasn't it? She won, in a famous quote many years ago, probably about 1991 or something, said you've got to be able to rock the alphabet. I don't know if he was quoting somebody else or if it's his quote, but it's a good quote, right? You've got to be able to, as a grapher, as a writer, you've got to be able to rock the alphabet. That's what it's all about. So even if you're going to be a character artist, try this for yourself, and give yourself a chance. Pick a letter like a K or an E or an R or an S or a C, or something that you can vary it up with. Don't give yourself a V or something. You know, 12 versions of a V is a nightmare, frankly. I mean, you know, if you really want to test yourself, then do it. Go for it. Be my guest. But there's some that I don't try and do, because the idea of doing 12 different examples of them that are hugely varying, you know, it ain't gonna happen. So anyway, there you go. That's a study of a K. That will give you some ideas, hopefully. Take them away. Practice in the book. Come back to me. Tell me how you got on.